this one, whether they opt to go for that more defensive CT side or go on the attack from the terrorist side on this one.
So it looks like they will actually be going for to stay there on that T side. Now, what's going to interest me is I want to see actually what pistol they're going to go for. They had quite a few default pistols back when they were FM on cash, and I want to see which ones of those are still in rotation or if they've actually thrown something new into the mix. In terms of the buy, we actually see 2 players with full utility, 1 player with a decoy, and 3 of them with armor. Yeah, this is actually just going to be... I believe this is the B play where they work their way back through to A and they actually counter boost their way through vents. But it seems like it's been a spanner into the works. They actually go for the push play for the information. HS gets taken down. Mick does try to trade it out, but eventually he's going to fall himself. But this is great for the CT side right now. This USP's coming massively into the fold. Joe trying to land the spam, but he couldn't quite connect it. Peggy has got onto the site and SEO's there as well. The bomb will go down. But Joe, they're in a sticky situation. Can they find their way out?
That's going to be the question. 2 of them remaining, looking to try and hold this bomb site. It's going to be tricky for them as Boaster is on the side, just gets his head taken clean off his shoulders, and Joe is going to be beheaded as well. Peggy on the scene right now, but Fetz finds one for himself, and he's just looking straight for the defuse. Not even going to go for the fake on this one. Peggy has to come up and check this one. Fetz is going to know he's coming, but it's not going to make a difference, and Peggy walks into the scene with a hat trick immediately. And just, honestly, that is how you start the Premiership right there. You just make a name for yourself immediately and win the round.
And I mean, that is what you said as well. Last season, you said Peggy was just going huge, rounds that he should never have been able to pick up. He's just going in single-handedly. And once again, living up to his name to be an absolute mean machine there. And that is just juicy stuff on the board. Interesting batch coming out, though, with 2 of them being Galils. And then we see 2 SMGs as well. The Mac 10 over on Imi and Mighty Max with the UMP. And they're just playing a little bit of a default right now. Usually into these second rounds, they actually try and get 2 players up onto the boost with the AKs. And then they go for 3 SMGs and try and spread themselves out to get that cash bonus. But try and take that mid-aggression, work their way to the A-bomb site. A-bomb site seeming like it still is going to be the end game right now, though. Where they do have a Fetz and a Joe to deal with. A Deagle in hand for one of them, and the other with a CZ, respectively, playing off the back of this close angle. Joe will actually get burnt to a crisp and fought to face, and he's going to get spammed down by that Galil of Tom Quiver.
Yeah, not a fun situation to be in when the molly comes into your corner, but CZ running out of ammo right there for Fetz, so he can't finish off that kill, and he's going to look for Peggy, but can't find his shots. It's going to be Peggy and Ezio taking down those 2 counter-terrorists, and now with 2 men remaining, a Deagle and a 5-7 are not going to be enough, I don't think, for the retake. I say that, though, Mick finds one, but immediately gets answered. Quiver is on it with the trigger finger right now. Boaster in a 1 versus 4. He's got the Deagle out, but he's not able to find any headshots just yet, and it looks like he will just back away from this one in the end. Does tag a man there, but it's not going to be enough to find anything, and that is going to be the second round going over the way of Altia Ego. And it looks like he will be able to hold on to this Deagle as well. No one going to be able to find him while they're on the hunt. And that is going to be the end of the second round. So Altia Ego with a good start to this game and managing to really find their way into a good and economical position in this first game of the Premiership.
Yeah, luckily for them, only losing 1 man into that round, and the Galil was actually recovered as well, so Imi can go for the buy. Once again, going to go for the Mac 10, obviously reading the economy, and Boaster was the only one that actually got away with a save. So he's going to recover the armor, but the rest of them are looking very squishy. Interesting play coming out. It is going to be the A bomb site stack. If Mighty Max did dare here to go a little bit over-aggressive, could find this out, but this could really be an awkward round if they walk straight into this bomb site.
It certainly could. They seem to be suspicious, though. Not really pushing very aggressively, kind of waiting for a tell here. And you can see just holding the bomb. Ezio so far back, but Fetz going to be the first one to go down. Imi making his way onto the site and really opening that up. And Fetz is a massive player to be taken out as well on United Estonia. But it looks like B is going to be the call. They're well aware that it is going to be a stack here. And you can see Mick is nearby, but he's the only player here. Another one going the way of Imi, and headshot through the smoke coming out from Peggy. And Mick drops, and honestly, this should be the round going the way. Imi finds another one with that Mac 10. And Boaster, once again, the last man remaining. And once again, I think he's just going to have to try and hold on to this Deagle. He is going to try and make a play here, I think. But that wall ain't that bulletproof.
Just spam straight through the plastic and take him down. Good stuff there, and they do actually pick up all 3 of those rounds very swiftly. But now, finally, the buys will come out. Everyone is going to upgrade. Imi looking like he actually wants to try and stick with his weapons. It's quite a brave choice. 3 of them sticking to the sort of awkward buy there, with 2 of those being the Glills, the 1 UMP as well. Fairly effective armor penetration. They do have the range behind them. They're going to try and just get as much out of those weapons as they can before they have to go in for the buy in the following round. Potentially just playing this round out as a little bit of a scout, a little bit of a bonus. And let's see if that's going to work out too well for him. This will actually be an A-take, most likely, with the smokes they've actually set up to completely zone out everyone that is on the site. They are just playing 1 man there, though. It's going to be Joe all in his lonesome with the big M4, the M4A1. So he can actually get an effective spray down if he can control that recoil. But let's see if that's even going to be the case, Joe.
Certainly going to find out soon, because here they go as they push onto the site, but it's going to be Joe finding the first one, and Jake as well grabs one for himself. It's going to be Poster there as Fet's looking for the one through the smoke, but it's going to be Ezio grabbing that one in the end, and now Quiver is on the scene. Going to be able to throw out that molly, and it's 2 for 2 so far, as we're going to see Poster looking for his second kill, but he can't quite connect the shots. HS immediately answers for his death, though, as Mighty Max takes out Mick, and suddenly it's just HS remaining. But as you said before, with an incredibly accurate name, HS is going to be looking to put some bullets into the heads of these 2 remaining Alter Ego players. But he's got a tall order on his hands right here. Checking highway, but actually, he didn't spot that player out. Mighty Max still there. He's looking for the headshots, but he can't find the time to do this one right now. I think he needs to back away if he can, but I don't think he'll be able to. Mighty Max finishes off the round. HS goes down, and it's 4-0 now to Alter Ego. I was going to say that their lack of buy there was quite greedy. Yeah. It's kind of high risk, high reward. If you can pull it off, it's great. You've saved yourself a whole lot of cash, but it easily could have lost them the round. Luckily for them, though, they take that one with, honestly, relative ease. Still 2 players remaining after the back of it, and they're going to be quite happy moving on into the 5th round of the game. Yeah, that's obviously sort of the high factor behind it, because you can play it out sort of a scout round. So if you lose it, you're not going to be that offended, because you can just get a rebuy. Interesting that Imi's actually decided to go back again in with a UMP. Loving this weapon right now. The Nico play is coming out as he just rips his way through everyone, looking very effective, but unfortunately caught with his pants down as Joe just strikes into action there. 2 tapping him with a deagle. The face comes out. We do see a trade, but this round has gone so far south. It's looking like we might be in Louisiana soon, Joe, as all of a sudden it's just down to 2 men, Tom Quiver and Desio, the last 2 remaining Ts, up against the trio of the United Estonian lads. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know about you. Louisiana's not actually south of me. That's more to the west. But we'll see whether they end up in London anytime soon. As it's going to be Boaster heading south himself as he takes a bullet to the brain, and now 2 versus 2 HS with that Deagle, but Mick goes down, and they know exactly where HS is. He can't get a defuse on this one. The AK going to come on in, and it's going to be Alter Ego. Ezio taking the headshot onto headshot and finishing a 5th round in the row. And honestly, I was thinking that this was going to be a super close matchup between these 2 teams, but so far, these big names on the side of United Estonia, the players that I was fully expecting to be massive kind of factors coming in, haven't really been able to get much on the board. Obviously struggling a little bit right now. It has been down to the wire quite a few times in these rounds, but it just seems that United Estonia can't quite make their way over the last hurdles into it. We will see actually a boost play coming up here. Mighty Max getting put up with the big M4, so we can try and get a little bit of mid control. Both start actually there with a backup of Fets. We see Joe opt into Don Orp as well, watching towards main. If he can land his shots here, this could actually be quite a massive defense against the push that is coming out, but he's going to have to be very fast. He has the backup of Fets that's rotated off towards mid. But it is going to be a hard hit on towards that bomb site, and he's getting burnt to a crisp, forced to reposition into an awkward off angle. This really isn't helping too much. He has to get shut down by Estio, who was allowed free map control straight out. Here they go, they're pushing on aggressively, all AKs in hands, and Joe is not the guy you want to be going down, but I feel like I can say that about any player on United Estonia, but we need to see them really stepping up to their names. We need to see them getting these kills that we're so used to seeing them managed to achieve. HS here coming out from truck, but I don't know if he's going to be able to see anyone just yet, as taking it in turns to peek. It's going to be Imi over at quad and Peggy right on top of the bomb, but Ezio finally goes down and Fetz finds one for himself as well. And now Peggy immediately answers and Quiver grabs one for himself. In fact, it's 2 for each of them, as Peggy and Quiver comfortably finish off that counter-terrorist push. And that is going to pretty much reset the economy of United Estonia. Do they go for a force buy here? Still 4K on a few members.
I think it's
The
a little
answer's
bit of an iffy one, yeah, because it's sort of, if we just let this round slip already, you know, they're not looking too healthy. It's essentially getting to the point where right now All Your Ego are basically just winning the half immediately off the back. They've got a ridiculous amount of money to play with, and all you want to try and do is work their way through that. They've gone for a little bit of a pistol buy and trying to get the open boaster playing aggressive towards them. It's not working out. Everyone's just getting caught up in the sidelines right now and just torn to shreds, and it just leaves 3 men all in their lonesome. They have to try and tiptoe their way over. Most likely are just going to go for this. They haven't really invested that much into the round. They've got armor on HS if he wants to try and go for the save. Fets, of course, could as well. And I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to actually achieve too much. Could get a few exit frags here, but right now, Your Ego playing this very smartly, just not even really hunting, aware that they won't have that much on them.
I don't really know what I'm witnessing right here, because I looked at the roster for United Estonia coming into this tournament, and I was kind of thinking, this is, I hate saying this term, but it felt like this is kind of a UK super team from last season. These are some of the massive players from last season. They're all top fraggers. They're all massive forces to be reckoned with. And United Estonia, the players that were on that original squad from last season as well, managed to win the entire Premiership. But in this game, it feels like Alter Ego are just one step ahead at every point. Well,
this is the thing as well. I mean, obviously, it depends the amount of structure that you get behind them. And Alter Ego, obviously, being a team with that core three that's been there for a long time. And it depends. With CS now and sort of the area it's getting to, which is you can't just sort of run around and shoot people anymore. It gets to the point now where you need that level of structure. And UE going into this as just being this big mix side that obviously has been only recently formed in sort of you know, it's not really had that long behind it into fruition, and it is just sort of that mix. Getting pummeled by a team that is very structured, and they're going for these very calculated executes in the way they're zoning out the sites very, you know, smartly and strategically, and just brushing their way in. They have no answer for it, and it seems right now as well, even though they're landing their shots and they're trying to barrage their way down with brute strength, they're just not being able to counter it. And Max given free range, just waddle out mid right now, get a 2K. He finally does get shut down by Mick. But is it even going to be enough? 3 men left standing. They're outnumbered, they're outgunned, and they're terrified.
Yeah, literally, as you say, brute strength, Mighty Max just walks in on 1v2s and really kind of flexing his biceps at that point. But here we go, 3 versus 2. The retake is on, but honestly, I say 3 versus 2. It's going to be 2 versus 4 now. I don't know. I don't even know why I said 3 versus 2. I clearly can't count, but it's going to be Joe and Mick remaining. And honestly, they're not even going to try for the retake here. They've got to try and save these weapons. But Mick just about winning that firefight. I thought he'd lost that one, to be quite honest, for a second there. Joe actually pushing onto the side. I don't know if he wants to go for this one, but it looks like he's going for the kind of desperation play. He's looking for the defuse, the spray come through the smoke, and will get denied in the end. It's a nice little kill for him here as well. Gets him all the way across the site. The bomb doesn't even explode, so they get to keep those weapons.
This is the scary thing as well, because United Estonia right now are just caught in the definition of insanity. They keep buying over and over again when they've got no money.
That sounds like an indie band.
What? The definition?
Or an album name.
Caught
in the definition of insanity.
Yeah. That could actually, yeah.
Or just definition of insanity or something. I don't even know. Yeah.
But I mean, this is the thing. Like, obviously, they're going for these forces, and then due to just how fragile the city side economy is, where they're just not being able to achieve anything, they're getting shut down, they're not even getting any frags on the board, they're just getting railed through. They're just not really building up that economy. Finally, they actually start to get some picks, though. They do claim 2 frags already, turn it into the hat-trick now, and it's just on Tom Quiver and Mighty Max. They're up against 1 extra man over on that CT side, but he is very low. Joe obviously forced to retreat. That nade could actually take him down if it lands on top of White, but isn't quite going to connect. They have secured the bomb site. They've zoned them out with the smokes, but they're beginning to fade, and if they play their cards right, UE do have a chance to actually win this one.
Certainly do, and Mighty Max going to be able to get the plant down. But UE, even though they've got a man up with 23, say they've got a man up, that's going to be taken down. He was the only rifle as well, and that's going to be Joe dropped as well. Boaster, I don't think you've got this one in the bag just yet, mate, because Mighty Max is waiting on site, and you've got Tom Quiver to deal with, who has honestly been a big factor so far. And Mighty Max, he doesn't need any help on this one. He's going to be able to just put that bullet straight into the face of his opponent. And that's a 9th round on the trot here for Alter Ego. This is a different roster entirely to what we saw at a choke last season. I mean, it's pretty much the same roster, but in terms of playstyle, in terms of the coordination in the squad, they have really stepped it up.
That's what I mean. Obviously, time has really helped out. We saw just how well they were dominating, as I was saying, sort of in terms of the European scale with the slightly altered lineup. And now with this massive change that's gone in there with these 2 players coming in, even though on paper it shouldn't be as good, they've really been stepping up and making it work just in terms of how they've been playing on a team-based level, and the structure is clearly showing off. They look very drilled. Everyone looks on point right now, and you just can't say the same for UE. It just doesn't look that crisp. Players that should be hitting these magnificent shots are just struggling a little bit. Slow stuff actually coming out from Yuga this time around. It's the first time it hasn't really been an overly aggressive, just straight-up execute. Nice Molotov there to try and force anyone that was playing inside vent out of position. That is going to be HS. Gets caught off guard. There was a smoke there to try and stave him, but that did just completely give the game away.
Certainly did, and now that's going to be Fets taken down. And Mighty Max is just a machine so far this game. He's got 2 kills for himself. Mick finds 1, but immediately that's answered by Imi. Tom Quiver with the AWP, as well as actually we do finally see Boaster managing to grab one for himself. So evening it up ever so slightly, but Tom Quiver's just waiting for Boaster to peek out through vent. And I don't think that's a fight that you want to take just yet, mate. He doesn't know Tom Quiver's there, though, I don't think. Maybe he does, because he's spraying right at him. But Joe looks like he's decided he wants to keep this gun. He wants to keep his claws around that M4. And we'll just back away in the end. Because right now, when you've lost this many rounds on the trot, you've got to hold on to whatever cash you can.
That's very true indeed. They're just not looking too grandiose right now. They will be able to get away with those 2 rifles. Unfortunately as well for Tom, he will get dropped. Imi's going to recover that AWP for him, and I mean, it's not even going to really matter, because if you look, they are just ridiculously rich. Everyone could go out and just buy crates of rosé right now. They're all wearing Rolexes. They're looking very happy.
They certainly are, and they're more than happy to walk around. I mean, you know you're doing pretty well for yourself when you've got an AWP in your hands and you've still got $12,000 to work with. That's a decent amount of cash. You can go for an AWP rebuy 2 rounds in a row at this point, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade to start this round off, and they're pushing straight onto the site. They are not messing about, but 3 versus 3 now, and for the first time it feels like this game, United Estonia in with the shot at taking the round. They've completely evened things up, and they've still got rifles to work with. Fets coming in from heaven, and he's going to be looking to try. I just want to see Fets like make some of these shots that we saw him making last season. We've got to see him really step up here, and it's going to be him walking in onto the site. Finds 1 for himself, and he's looking for Ezio as well. Can't quite finish the kill, but HS will do so. And now Mighty Max with a 2 versus 1 on his hands. He's already done this multiple times in this game, but can he do it again? All he has to do is play time. Oh no, the bomb's not planted, sorry. So he doesn't have to play time. He's got to actually work his way through these 2 members.
I feel like something that could actually come to the folder as well. Could be overconfidence actually coming out from a player like Joe in that upper position. Seeming like he actually wants to go for the peak, and he could be immediately shut down by Mighty Max. He's got a lot of time to play with here. That's one all round. Catches the sight of HS, but couldn't quite land the shot, and Joe eventually does the smart thing. Just goes to the patient play, comes out, takes him down. Now, this would be great if Yugo didn't have such a ridiculous amount of economy. So immediately, a huge rebuy comes in, and if we look over at United Estonia, it's just not the same sort of ideal. Boaster actually unable to get his own gun, does need to go for the drop. MCK can't even afford one, and Utility's not even that fantastic either.
Yeah, it's a sorry sight when you finally win a round and you don't like everyone on your team basically died anyway, so you don't actually have any money to work with regardless. And we'll see whether actually a counter boost coming out in mid here. We'll see whether Boaster is going to be able to find any opponents. Ezio is just over that ridge. If he can sneak forwards, he might be able to find someone, but playing this one very, very safe. Does not want to push his luck on that one, and I can't say I blame him at this late stage in the game. He actually did find one from that counter boost, but immediately it's answered with the entire team. And actually, Tom Quiver finished off Imi there, so it's now 2 versus 3. Peggy and Ezio, the last 2 members remaining, they haven't got much health to talk about. United Estonia looking to maybe finally grab a round for themselves as Fets is looking for Peggy. Going to go for the pre-spray. Just needs to hit 1 bullet and he will do so. In the end, Peggy goes down, and United Estonia finally get a couple of rounds on the board. They can go for a rebuy now, but look at this. Alter your ego. They lose 2 rounds in a row. Full buy last round. They can still afford everything.
I mean, the only blessing right now is obviously UE were able to link that second round. So now their economy isn't going to get reset. They were able to keep it going. So they've got money to actually get a fairly efficient buyout. We see the AWP over on HS as well. This is where he could actually start to roam and get a little bit more aggressive. Playing in checkers right now, just watching that angle towards the B bomb site. And what seems to be a late round lurk with him, he just holding out, trying to force the idea of it being an A play when really it is going to be a B. He could go so massive right now. He's going to miss the opening flick, repositions, but can he land this one? Goes for the peak, sloppy seconds, isn't going to come out. He will get taken down. Actually did take down Peggy there before he was traded out. Fetz comes into the fold, though, but it is going to be a 1-for-1. And now it's a 3-on-2 retake. That bomb site has been secured, and there's a fair bit of time before they're going to arrive on the scene. So SEO will get it down just over by default.
That's an important plant for them as well, because they just lost 2 on the trot now. They're not actually in as great of a spot as they have been the rest of the game. They're starting to actually run dry on cash. But Mick, looking for the shoulder peak, did get hurt, and Mighty Max will be able to find yet another kill for himself. He's just padding his scoreline at this point as he gets another one. No, doesn't quite land the shots, but it's going to be Ezio easily answering. And now Boaster will be dropped in the end as Ezio grabs himself a hat trick and grabs a 12th or 11th round, for Alter Ego. And if I was saying that they were not in the greatest financial situation, they've just fixed that problem right away.
Yeah, they have indeed. Everyone locked and loaded onto the teeth, but you just can't say the same for United Estonia. Down to the pistols, 2 Deagles in play there, 1 CZ over on Fetz. He's been quite effective with that weapon, but you can only be so effective with a CZ once you're up against a full buy of AK-47s. The Kalashnikovs coming into the fold as they run their way through mid, just sprinting like it's the London Marathon. Will they be able to best him? He's trying to hold this angle, getting a little bit maybe too big for his boots. And he will be slain. Head knocked clean off there.
Certainly wasn't. CZ just not quite able to find the shots that he needed to. Peggy pushing forwards and will just annihilate Mick as he jumps out of vents. And now the B take is on and there's no CTs to be seen. They have to run all the way across the map. And honestly, would not be even remotely surprised to see HS not even try for this and just hold on to that AWP. You can't really afford to be losing these weapons at this stage. And Imi manages to find one for himself as well, as there's just 2 CTs remaining. There goes the AWP I was talking about. Just Boaster remaining with that Desert Eagle. Does find one for himself, but realistically, exit frags is all he's going to be able to look for.
Yeah, just going to be holding the rear right now, seeing if anyone tries to creep their way out past Sunrim. If they were his position, most likely just all going to exit through CT. They will do now, obviously he's given the game away, so not really going to get much. Could try and scavenge an AK, but I don't believe he's going to be anywhere near the one that has fallen on Max. Could potentially get blown towards him after the bomb blows up. So yeah, he's going to try and just grab that from Checkers, but it should just be slightly out of his reach. Not even going to matter. Tom's just holding the angle.
Yeah, kind of punished there for looking for the weapon. But realistically, losing the Deagle isn't going to be the be-all and end-all, because realistically, it wouldn't have had anything else to work with. So worth the risk to try and grab a rifle right there. But here we go with the AWP in the hands of Imi, and AKs for the rest of his squad. Alter Ego still feeling very comfortable as we enter the last round of this half.
Peggy with a crisp opener, but MCK is going to respond as he takes down Imi, the in-game leader for the side, but here comes Tom Quiver. Only one. Once again, the trade's coming out, and it's Mick to actually take the initiative. Seems like all of a sudden he's got a bit of a second win for his side, returning to what we saw in the previous season. If he can keep this up with this Deagle, I mean, got out Alter Ego right now. He's trying to spam away, but it's going to be a bit of a tall order. One task, too many for him. Boaster nearly getting burnt off to a crisp there, actually taken down to just 60 HP. Yeah, she is quite effective with this 5-7. Lethal Sohao, as he just takes down 2 men in an instant. It's just on Mighty Max. A single bullet will best him. Is he going to be able to land it, though? Sprays down HS. And it is just on Boaster. Both of them so very low. They both have these AK-47. Who is going to be faster?
This is butt-clenchingly close between these 2 players. 6 HP, and it is going to finish him off.
Kobe.
Mighty Max dunking him across the map there, or across the site at least, and that is going to be the definition of a convincing half. 13-2 is the final score, and I was saying that this was going to be the match of the day. I was saying that this was going to be...
I mean, on paper, this definitely was, but Alter Ego, they have come in. They've come in. Ooh.
Well then.
They've, I mean, yeah, might as well have with this scoreline. It's ridiculous. They finished at about the same time.
Right now, when you looked at United Estonia's lineup and looked at kind of what should have been happening on paper, the team name Alter Ego seems to fit perfectly, because they're kind of coming in and saying, who even are you? This is our Premiership. We're here to win. And honestly, I felt like on paper this should have been the match that actually was going to be deciding seedings towards the end of the season, because these guys definitely could both be up at the top of the scoreboard.
We were sort of like, this is the 1 and 2 seeds, but
maybe not.
Yeah.
And especially with how that first game went, we actually saw some
Oh,
really strong
crazy
plays
stuff,
coming out
yeah.
from those guys. So if they can keep that up throughout the season, Reason Gaming maybe could be looking like they're maybe 1, maybe 2 seed. But that's a long way off just yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Imi going to be able to find one for himself. HS does reply though. Manages to finish off Tom Quivers. So 1 apiece, and Imi down to 10 HP with Boaster.
Oh,
Mick actually finding 2 for himself, and maybe it's just a matter of United Estonia needing to be on the T side.
that is true indeed. Obviously, you're going to favour that more aggressive mixed style of play potentially, where they can be a little bit more organic. Let's see if that is going to continue on, if it will eventually be nipped in the bud. Obviously, Imi and Essie had last 2 men left standing. Imi, essentially a zombie at this point though, is just staggering around. Just waiting for the sweet embrace of death. Not looking too healthy at all. And the B bomb site will actually be the main focus into the round. There's still 50 seconds left on the clock as they scurry their way over there. Well, the CTs will realise what is going down.
Mate, this is going to be this is going to be overtime. I'm calling it.
Yeah, you reckon this is going to go the full 30 rounds now? I wouldn't be surprised actually. It seems like the sort of thing that happens.
This is after we said that it was going to be such a good game, and we're now saying it's a disappointing game. Definitely feels like that could be the case. Oh, Imi just desperately trying to dodge the bullets, but HS finally starts to live up to his name as he grabs 3 craniums for himself in that round. And now it's a matter of United Estonia looking to snowball this into something, actually get themselves back into this game. They realistically should just straight up win this round on paper. At this point, for this round, their goal needs to be not dying, not losing weapons for absolutely no reason, and starting to build up a bank for themselves.
Nothing too flamboyant just yet though. They are just going to be holding these angles. Want to see if there will be any pushes actually coming out from what you go. Interesting part they've gone forward those pistols. It's nice to see this. So basically, Imi going for the scout, so he can kind of roam, try and get those tags off, and then obviously he'll knock them down very low with that scout tag, so they can be finished off very easily with a pistol, as they'll be quite squishy. So it's an interesting play. He hasn't been actually roaming overly too much right now, just playing on that A bomb site. But unfortunately for him, B is going to be where the action is at. Fett gets the opener on towards Peggy, and now the push will unfold on towards the bomb site. Max trying to hold him back, but he just can't quite connect these shots. We do see Tom holding the close angle towards the smoke, but HS just says hello to him and sprays him down. Mighty Max is going to get bested by the good old Mighty Joe Double E as well.
And there it is. That's going to be another round going the way of United Estonia. Why? I say that. They've got the bomb down. They've got a whole lot of weaponry to work with, and it's 2 versus 5. So I don't really think this is going to be something Rico are going to want to go for here. Scout in the hands of Imi, so they're really just going to want to take that through into the next round. And as well, Kevlar for Ezio. And often you kind of see players only really going for the save if they've got a big weapon. But realistically, when you've lost the first 2 rounds of a half, that Kevlar is actually going to be a big difference moving on into the later rounds. You really just want to hold on to any little bit of cash you can find. Imi looking for a little bit of an exit frag here. He's been spotted out, but no one's going to be able to get close to him. And that is going to be another round for United Estonia. So 4 on the board now. And this is going to be, if they can get this one as well, this will be 3rd on the trot. And realistically, they should be able to get this one. But then the round following this one is going to be so important in terms of this actual game.
Yeah, it's very true indeed. Interesting play actually coming out here from What Your Ego, just going for the straight up B aggression, the contact B play. They have actually caught out Imi, but they haven't realised the rest of them. And this is an amazing bait. Everyone falling for the trap as they spring their way into the web, but didn't work out too well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice idea. It was great on paper, but HS was not having any of it. Got 3 kills for himself and just wiped out the squad from Alter Ego. And I mean, what a quick round. That was over in about 30 seconds flat. And that is going to be now Alter Ego with a rifle by a couple of Famuses. So not ideal, but they've got a good amount of utility to work with. And I like the decision to all just go for Kevlar. No helmets coming out because they know that they're against those AK-47s. They know a single headshot will kill them regardless. So nice strategic decision coming out from them. I want to take a look in the eyes of HS though, because it looks like he's pushing over that B site right now.
Tom Quiver playing this close angle as well here, just underneath boost. This could be so very effective.
Yeah, HS does manage to find one as well on the B site, so actually that opens things up really. for United Estonia. Tom Quiver here, looking for a way to find one of these kills. I thought he was actually going to push in through mid then, but he does find Mick for himself, and that's going to even things up. I say that actually. It's only 3 versus 4 still. So United Estonia are well and truly in the driving seat, but still 3 CTs remaining. This is by no means a one round just yet. I say that, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a little bit more one than I originally thought, as Fets pushing from truck, Ezio just hiding out there, but that's another one for HS. And that is going to be the round in the bag as Boaster finishes it off onto Peggy. And that's now 6 rounds on the board for United Estonia, and they're feeling pretty good about themselves. They're feeling like maybe they can actually get back into this game. Not really going to be enough to get a bye on the board for Alter Ego. And look at the bank that United Estonia has built. But honestly, at this point in the game for United Estonia, if they lose a round, their biggest issue isn't worrying about whether they can rebuy or not. It's worrying about the fact that Alter Ego will be on 14, but it's already kicking off, Jackie.
Yeah, they're already just storming their way through. You didn't expect too much to come out of the eco. They did go for the potential B push, but they unfortunately don't have anyone playing that lurk role to slate and try and recover their weapons. They will actually split up and try and go for the retake here. I mean, they've only invested into the P250s, so it's really not too much to worry about. They can try and go for these aggressive plays, try to shut them down. This is really great play as well for Mighty Max. Completely confusing them, so Peggy could just play underneath the sugar cube here to try and get that frag onto Fets. He will do so, but Joe, just going back to his old form there, snapping both of them down, immediately just slaps them out of the server.
There's another round for United Estonia. They're no longer on less than half of the rounds of Alter Ego. They've broken that threshold now. But check out the buy from Alter Ego. The strongest buy they've had in this entire half. But are they going to be able to use it effectively? This is going to be crucial for United Estonia. But if they can pull this one off, they're actually in a good spot to look to maybe equalize things within the next few rounds. And a nice molly is going to force Quiver to back away on that one. Means that he can't use that AWP anywhere near as effectively as he'd like. Yeah,
that is absolutely devastating with the timings there of him actually moving off straight into mid. He could have actually got a free pick onto Boaster that would have made their lives so much easier into round 21, but that hasn't happened. Max somehow playing around the smoke amazingly there. Could have gone huge, but HS having none of it. He's going to just snap him down with a crystal headshot, peels his head back, and it's just really on Peggy to be the key player into this round. Needed to get a minimum of 2 frags, really, but he can't do it. HS goes in for that trick, and he seems like he's bloodthirsty for more. If he wants to go in, he can.
He certainly can. He's more than paid for his next round with those 3 kills. And where on earth was this United Estonia in the first half of the game? Nice shot comes out from Tom Quiver, though, to at least even things out somewhat. Needs to try and find more. Goes for the no-scope. Maybe could have taken a second to try and line that shot up, though, to be quite honest, after the flashbang. Imi going to be able to trade it back across. But he's all on his own. He's got a couple of grenades. He's got that armor and a defuse kit. Definitely wants to try and hold on to this. The 1 versus 3, I would not say, is advisable right now. And he's going to be able to just hang out over towards that T-spawn. And we'll be able to get away with that weapon. I say that they are pushing on towards him. But I think he should be able to get away with it here. And, oh, actually gets an exit frag as well. Manages to finish off Mick. So, good job by Imi in the end. But it is another round for United Estonia, and that's the crucial thing here. Imi obviously going to have that M4, but the rest of his team not really got anything to work with. Couple of grenades coming out, but that's about it. And yet again, another well and truly full buy coming out from United Estonia.
Yeah, looking arm to the teeth. Obviously the militia that are United Estonia right now. The thing is as well, we've seen this level of struggling in the past from what Urigo in their previous lineups on their CT halves, and it's still seems to be such a key factor, but there's potential this could be a huge round. Mighty Max getting one so close to the follow-up, but he couldn't quite do it. And the trades come in. Mick claiming 2 frags on the board there. And it's just down to Tom Quiver and SEO miles out of position. They haven't really put too much money into it. They can try and go for it. SEO should probably go for the save here, and he will actually recover an M4, so we'll definitely try and get the hell out of ground 0.
I'm not sure if that was Ezio's frag grenade that blew that out of the room. I didn't see who threw that. But yeah.
It's made his life a lot easier.
Yeah, slides a weapon on over to him, and he's going to be more than happy walking away with that one. And that is going to mean that next round, they need just a little bit less cash to scrounge a good buy together. And I think they should be able to get away with a buy, actually, next round. Not 100% sure on that one, but here we go with Tom Quiver looking to make a play. Got Fetz incredibly low, but just could not find the headshot and could not finish off that kill. Fetz might actually die, though, to the bomb here. It's on 25. I think he'll be okay, though. There we go.
Be able to get out of that one with his life. SEO recovering that as well. As much as it isn't that sort of huge, because they are going to be able to get the buyout into this round anyway, it still does save them a fair bit of money into the following round to actually spend on some more equipment if they need to, and it's going to help. Obviously, the lose streak is getting quite vast right now, as UE are just showing no signs of slowing down.
No, but if there's a round that Alter Your Ego are able to win, it's got to be this one. They've got an AWP, they've got M4s galore, and they have the grenades to work with. They've already tagged out a whole bunch of players from United Estonia as well. So realistically, this is their round to win. They've got to be able to get this one on the board, because if they can't manage to get this one, it's actually starting to look pretty shaky for them, and we could well be seeing overtime, if not a UE victory, however. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The round's not over just yet, and they still have a 4-round lead to work with. Tom Quiver down to 22 HP, though. And it looks like United Estonia yet to decide which bomb site to go for, but it might just be that A is the call here as they start to push up.
Things as well. This is a really good angle from SEO here. It just depends if he can on the shot. He will actually be able to get away with it. Gets the headshot off onto Fetz. The flashbang is wants to go back into the secondary face. Max was there to help him out. Did get the trade off the bat, and this is just glorious. If he can go in front of a frag, looks away at just the wrong time. Expects him to push around the left-hand side of Fork. And now it comes back into a 3-on-3, but a great way to kick off round 23.
It certainly is, and this is exactly what Alter Your Ego needed. They had to find a way into the round, and that's another kill coming out for them. HS is going to go down, and now it's down to Imi, Tom, and Peggy. They've got to make something happen right now. They can't afford to lose this round. It's all or nothing for them, and that flash is going to really ruin things as Imi goes down. Tom and Peggy remaining, but they're going to drop as Boaster finishes all 3 players by himself, grabs an AWP, grabs the hat-trick, 16k in the bank, and he might have just grabbed the equaliser, to be honest, for United Estonia, because what do you do if you're Alter Your Ego in the next couple of rounds? I mean, they do still have some cash to work with, because their loss bonus is fully stacked at this stage.
The only thing that actually makes me pleasantly happy is that they have decided we do need to go for the pause. I mean, looking at this right now, there is no signs of UE stopping. They've just been steamrolling their way through, ripping through them over and over again, and it's just abysmal. I mean, Alter Your Ego in terms of, it doesn't matter which lineup they've had, be it Choke, be it FM, be it Alter Your Ego now, they have always had this issue with their CT halves. They've never really been able to close games out. They seem so well structured and so fantastic. And you said it yourself, it's looking so well drilled on that level of sort of consistency in the plays they go for and how well they can do their executes. But as soon as they get in their CT half, it seems that the majority of that just goes out the window, and they really do struggle to close things out. And that is a major issue. That's something that needs to be fixed. And those shines are still there, even now. And you can see it being such a big effect. I mean, UE right now, 10 rounds on the board from when this was, a 2-round scoreline at the half is just insane. I'm not sure how they've been able to not only find the energy, but the consistency to bring their way back.
Yeah, and this is the thing as well. If you can't close out that second half, if you can't finish the CT side, a team as strong as United Estonia will punish you for that. They are more than happy to just take these round after round. And I mean, you can see how confident United Estonia are, because even with all this cash, they're not going for anything like an AWP. They're just going, okay, we are all just straight up solid with an AK. Let's just run with AKs. Let's just take these rifle duels that we know that we can consistently win and just continue to snowball this game.
And it suits their playstyle as well, because we've seen, literally, that was one of those things that we sort of said is, this could be over for them right now. But as soon as they got on their T side, it was just that sort of newly slapper. They realised, guys, we can just go aggressive. We can take that sort of really aggressive standpoint. And they've done that by just living up to it as well with a 5 AKs. They have no reason to go for an AWP that's going to slow them down, so they have to try and play for that opening pick or play for the late round style of play. They are just going to sprint in, just on the drive. Everyone goes in, they execute, just with these burst style plays, just flashing each other in. There's no real sort of set takes. It has just been burst style plays out onto the site, off the back of a flashbang, going for these peaks, just trying to get those entries. And the trades have just been on point. And I mean, you've got to give it right now to HS. He's been the key man behind the site, especially towards that B-bomb site. Every time they've gone there, basically a minimum of 3 frags every time.
Yeah, and you can see that on the scoreboard, 23 frags to his name. And if they win the game, he might well be looking towards a 30 bomb right now. And We'll see whether he's going to be able to head towards that goal as the round is underway once more. And now Alter Your Ego not in the greatest spot because they're only 3 rounds ahead. They had a 13-2 first half. Let's just remember this is 8 rounds on the trot right now for United Estonia, who are going to be over the moon. And you've got to think about player mentality at this point as well. It's not just a matter of landing your shots anymore. It's a matter of making sure that, you know, the 4-letter word TILT doesn't play a factor in this game. But here we go. Peggy is looking for one, but loses the rifle battle to Fetz, and that opens this wide for United Estonia.
Oh, look at this as well. That's very cheeky. They're actually going to get Fetz boosted up into the vent, so he has control of mid here and can just cover the rear, and they should very well catch SEO off guard as he comes in for the rotate. He does hear that vent pop and realizes, absolutely paranoid now as well. This is going to make the retake so much harder for Alter Your Ego.
So there's Tom Quiver with that AWP though. Mighty Max takes one onto HS and it's 4 versus 4 now. But can Tom find anything with that AWP? Mighty Max on site and Mick has found Tom Quiver from behind. That is bad news right now for Alter Your Ego. They need that power weapon, but Ezio pushing forwards. He's going to be found by Joe though, who wins out the fight with the AK. Mighty Max does get a second one onto Mick though. Mighty Max might just be the saviour, but it's not going to happen as the 11th round is on the board right now for United Estonia. And that is bad news for the cash flow of Alter Your Ego. They lose yet another one. That's the 9th in a row now. 2 rounds away from tying things up. United Estonia are doing just about fine for cash. Everybody on over $10,000 to their name. And now it looks like they're going straight towards the A site. No messing about on this one.
Yeah, just straight up bombardment, just trying to brute force their way in. Imi actually looking like he is going to go for the peek towards the door here. He gets caught a little bit off guard. Panicking, will be slain by HS. Yeah, they have realised SEO's position. He does actually get the late range mortar strike there, and Peggy comes into the fold as well with a deagle shot straight onto Joe. It's a 3v3. They do have 2 deagles in play. Can they keep this up? But his one taps actually, but look from the sidelines. They haven't realised that MCK holding this angle by electric box, pops out, claims one, should be able to link it onto the second. Will do so, and he wants the hat trick, and he'll take it.
Yeah, nice and easy there for MCK. Just strolls on in and sprays them on down. And that is going to be a nice little round for United Estonia. Not the most difficult of rounds, obviously, against those pistols and unarmoured opponents. It's never going to be too tricky. But then again, it was a decent job by Alter Your Ego, to be honest, to get the kills that they did get. I really don't think they were quite expecting quite how quick United Estonia just charged straight onto that side. Here we go, as Imi down in mid with that silent M4 is going to be searching for these kills, but a much, much slower round, much more calculated round coming out from United Estonia on this one. They're just looking for information, trying to work out where these CTs are going to be holding. There's Imi just bouncing around mid, waiting for someone to show themselves, just waiting for that a little bit of information. And it's a good hold so far for Alter Your Ego. But it looks like United Estonia are starting to group up now. Heading towards mid, looking maybe for this boost, looking for the peak. And will they find Imi? That's the question as they pop vents, and that's going to shine some, or throw up some red flags right now for Alter Your Ego. And Joe takes on another headshot onto Imi. Opens the round up for United Estonia, and it looks like they're moving on towards the B site now.
Shame about that is as well, is he didn't actually even get much information. He only saw Joe, so he didn't even put that call out to us a little bit too late, and that'd be bomb site. Not only was it under onslaught, it's just been completely blasted out of the server. No one's left in there, and you just see Tom Quiver and SEO as the last 2 men left standing, and they are forced into a save, and this is going to equalise now. There's no physical way they can really retake this. I mean, they'd have to become demigods and just fly their way over there if they were going to be able to. So this is going to be 13-13, everything tied up, and I mean, if they carry on at this rate, it's just looking like that's going to be the 14th round linked up immediately for United Estonia.
And the scary, scary thing is right now, for Alter Your Ego, is, honestly, if they can win a round for themselves, they have to tie a second to it. If they lose this loss bonus now, the game is over.
Yeah, they're just going to be put literally, they'll be too far gone. There'll be no coming back off the back at that point. I mean, sure, you would have got a round.
Oh my goodness. Talk about exit frags. Ezio gets 2 and Tom Quiver finds 1. Obviously, it doesn't matter
Everyone
in terms of the actual
60k,
round.
course, yeah.
And yeah, that's a pretty comfortable rebuy coming in for United Estonia. But if Alter Ego managed to win this one, that forced rebuy actually could be a big deal.
Yeah. They're trying to whittle their way through that ridiculously just overinflated economy. And we've not really seen Alter Ego really spicing things up too much. But this time around, they try and go a little bit overly aggressive. Tom Quiver is going to lead the charge with the backup of his teammate going in the buddy system. It's going to be Peggy there as they try and peek their way around. Joe does actually have the angle. And all this mid-control. SEO playing around the smoke, gets the opener. Can he find the follow-up? He can. Switches onto HS. Nearly finds the third. So very close, but Mick is going to trade it out. And Max is there on the scene. Has all these audio cues. He's going to relay that over to his teammates. And this is finally looking like a round they've been able to get their hands around and really grasp firmly. But is it going to slip, or will they keep their grip?
That's going to be the question. And Ezio as well, while spraying through that smoke, got a dink onto Fetz. It was so close to getting a 3K right there. And honestly, the 3K I feel like would have just completely secured the round. Here comes Peggy. He's got his crosshairs right on the head of Joe, who's not even noticed him. And actually, just going to pass that information on. And Tom Quiver is more than happy to finish off the kill. There's another one. Peggy in this position at Toxic, just annihilating that round. Secures a kill for Tom Quiver and then finishes the other two off himself. This is what Alter Ego needed to find their way back into this game. But now, we literally just mentioned it before this round. If Alter Ego lose this round, they might well just lose the game.
Yeah, their money is absolutely horrendous. It's really only Tom that actually has much money, and even then the rebuys that will be coming out will be shocking. So they have to win this. That's basically how it is. They need to take the game to match point right now, or you basically do just lose the entire thing. You're going to be stuck in the worst possible situation. It seems like an A-take is actually going to be the port of call for the United Estonia side. If we see who's actually playing that close angle, it's going to be SDO by Forklift with a backup of Imi, once again, the dynamic duo that have done quite effective jobs of defending the site. SCR actually goes all in, pushes straight into main, doesn't actually take a single point of damage, but does transfer some over onto Boaster, just 9 HP. A single name could just blast him out of the server.
This is going to be heartbreaking for United Estonia if they can't clinch this, but they finally find Ezio. That's one on the board for them. They've got the advantage, but it's traded straight back onto Boaster. Imi is looking to turn this into a round. It's 3 versus 3, though, as it's going to be answered by Fetz. Now Mighty Max with a good spot here. Oh, nice and high. He's got good vision, but he's been spotted out himself and will get taken down as HS lives up to his name. But it's again traded straight back across. Tom Quiver finding one with the AWP. Mick just watching towards Truck. The bomb's planted. And now can the retake happen? Tom Quiver and Peggy, they've got to make this happen if they want to win this game.
Mick tucked in behind the pillar there. Will just peek out at the right time, shuts down Quiver. And now it is just a 2v1. Peggy, kit in hand, that is going to be the most important. But it's not going to matter if he doesn't have any hands to defuse the bomb as is. Just gets absolutely railed there. Head goes rolling off and his body is left lifeless. And look at that economy. Shocking stuff, as we said. It really was only Tom that had money. The buyers will actually be coming out. They're just going to all in with it. They know they have to. They've committed in with what they could afford, and they've actually scraped together a much more formidable buy than what I expected to see. 2 AWPs on the field there, 1 M4, 1 Famous, but no real nates. If we see just any aggressive plays coming out from you, it's going to be ridiculous. And it's already gone ridiculously wrong. Tom gets shut down. Peggy's going to follow suit. It's just left on 3 of them, and this isn't looking too great. Max will try and return things to normal order, but it's still not looking fantastic.
That was pretty much the worst start to the round Alter Ego could have asked for. A complete all-in terms of buy-in, but Imi finds another one, and it's actually going to even things up 3 versus 3 now. Imi's going to look for a second shot, and he's going to find the wall bang coming on out onto Boaster. Now, they're actually in the driving seat right now. Joe, completely surrounded. He knows Imi is nearby, and he's actually just going to try and rush this one, but Imi nails him against the wall. Imi is looking to carry his team to the victory right now, but Mick is going to finish him off in the end. It's Famous and a P250 up against Mick's AK. He's got full grenades, he's got full armor, and he's got that bomb. Still 55 seconds on the clock to work with. But he doesn't know where the remaining 2 CTs are going to be hanging on out. They're looking towards the A site. They definitely feel like this is going to be the spot that he attacks, but he actually has time to run across the map still. 40 seconds to play with, and I think the B site is going to be the call, maybe.
There is a whole lot of potential. Obviously, right now, the smarter play for Alter Ego is just to stick together as the duo in that buddy system. Wait until they hold the audio cue of the bomb going down, then rotate off and attempt to retake. Even if that does mean he's going to be in a more advantageous situation, retaking together is going to be a whole world easier. And this does give him actually time to recover some advanced weaponry. SEO is going to scavenge that Kalashnikov and then begin to sprint over. They're aware that this is going to be B, as obviously the timer was far too low for it to be a late round A. But he's in a prime time position to go big here, and all your ego right now, this is really going to have to come down to that teamwork between SEO and Max. They've played together for so long, throughout so many different teams, in so many different games, but will it live up to this moment? Round 29, they have to pick it up now. It's do or die for that side, and Mick in a ridiculous position here, just up on top of default box in that elevated angle. Will it catch him off guard? No, it won't! Max switches across and swipes him down, and they're going to pick it up.
Well, we said this was going to be a game to watch. We said it was going to be the match of the day, and honestly, it had a whole lot of work if it wanted to live up to game one, but so far, it absolutely is. We're going to see the rebuy available right now for Alter Your Ego. Well, I say rebuy, it's not going to be that convincing, but they've got a few weapons to work with, and an easy full buy coming out from United Estonia. Obviously, still so much. This was the lead that they managed to accrue. That was 2 rounds in a row that they've just easily full bought, and they've still got a little bit of dollar to spare. But Famis in the hands of Tom Quiver, AWP for Imi. We saw Imi just tearing people apart with that old last round.
That was game-changing. That really was. I mean, that was a whole new Imi coming into the fold.
Imi is the reason that this game is still going on right now.
That was insane. That was, you know, I mean, the wallbang shot that he just shouldn't have even hit onto Boaster was absolutely ridiculous. And then the shot as well when he got pushed by Door, somehow barely clawing on. Max finishing things off as well. Crazy.
Look at the B hold coming out from Alter Your Ego. They do not want to lose that site right now. There's only 2 towards A. Joe looks like he's trying to spot that one out right now.
They are just giving free reign to United Estonia towards mid here.
Well, I think every single time we've seen them try and contest mid, United Estonia have just won that fight. I don't think we've seen them lose mid a single time this entire game. Even while they were losing the game in general, it wasn't because of mid.
That's true. I mean, 9 times out of 10, they lost Imi towards mid, but he did go for those early round faces, so clearly quite scared of just the aggressive peaks coming out. Actually playing this angle towards main. Could get an open onto Fetz here, sees him. Or if he goes back into seconds, this could be a very bad decision, but he makes it work, and he's actually given enough room to get out of there. Lands the tag as well, but it's not going to matter. He eventually gets shut down, and his best friend's going to follow suit as well. SEO getting bested, and it's just down on Tom Quiver, Peggy, and Mighty Max. Can that troublesome trio retake the site?
That's going to be the question, but they're all so low. 3 versus 3 right now. They've got to make this happen. Otherwise, it is going to be overtime for the second time today. Peggy throwing a grenade at the worst possible moment and will drop. Mick is on the scene, but he can't finish off the shot. Onto Mighty Max there. Tom Quiver as well on the scene with the Famis now. But they're both a bullet away from death. In fact, everyone's a bullet away from death. That's going to be both of them going down as HS managing to find his targets. And United Estonia, after a 2-13 first half, managed to push this one to overtime.
What is ridiculous as well. I mean, the main thing for me that just blows my mind is the fact that was an 11-round streak for UE. Just off the back of that pistol, they went in. All of a sudden, this confidence comes back into it, and they just didn't stop. That is crazy. I mean, we said it was going to be a close game. We then assumed that Alter Your Ego had just immediately just gone all in. Something had gone crazy. Everyone had just snapped. They'd gone Super Saiyan, but it's just not happened.
It really hasn't. And honestly, this is going to be an interesting overtime. And I think, especially whoever, obviously it's going to be Alter Your Ego on T side to start the overtime. Or no, it's not. Sorry, I'm telling a complete lie.
Yeah, UE just continuing on from the previous half.
Honestly, it feels like just this game alone has made Cash seem like the most T-sided map that ever existed. We both know that's not actually the case. But honestly,
this is the thing that's quite worrying, though. Is obviously I see the point you're going for there, because it kind of means like right now with Alter Your Ego, for me, they need to. I mean, minimum you need 2 rounds right now on your CT half. Because they looked very formidable. We saw just how crisp they were. Like, United Estonia had no way of dealing with their T half. But their CT half, they barely picked up 2 rounds. Like, that's 2 rounds in literally 15 rounds. That's just not good enough in any way for Alter Your Ego. And they need to best that right now. They need a minimum of 2 rounds in this first half of overtime on their CT half, or I feel like it's basically just going to be UE just ripping their way through and being able to clutch it out and just actually shut the game down in 1 OT.
Well, I'm so happy at how this first day's gone. Even with the delays, with the little bit of confusions, and we've had a default, you would think that that kind of thing has just completely knocked the first broadcast, but
just ruined it,
these 2 games have just absolutely lived up to the hype. And in fact, I would say they've gone well above and beyond the hype in this matchup, because
I'd say, in terms of the 2 games we've seen this season, it's already said a lot for what we're bringing in for Season 3.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of new talent on display, and you can see just how big some of it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I was so worried that after I'd built up this United Estonia lineup, I'd said how strong they were going to be, and then they went 2 for 13. I was like, oh God, what have I said? Well, honestly, they are. I don't even. Actually, it's kind of worrying, isn't it? This first game for United Estonia, because yes, they have absolutely lived up to that name on the second half. But what does this say for their consistency? What does this say for them as a consistent team throughout the Premiership? It's going to be difficult for them, but here we go. The round's begun, and Mick is looking to make a scene right now. Immediately gets traded, though. Peggy finds his head. Puts one clean between the eyes. But here we go. They push onto the site. It's going to be Fetz finding one onto Peggy. Max is going to drop as well. And it looks like the B site well and truly belongs to these terrorists. But the spray coming out from Ezio gets full blind by his own flashbang, though. And that's going to really slow things down, throwing out the smoke to try and find his way into Checker. Imi over towards the CT spawn as well, is looking for his way in, but Ezio just can't find the shots right now, and he's going to be sprayed on down. Joe finishes it. In fact, it's HS through the side of the vent. Imi, though, is onto the site and will end up getting shut down by HS. And it's the 16th round over to United Estonia. But obviously, this is overtime. 16 just isn't enough anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, this is already worrying me right now, because I feel like there's still potential, but it's just not looking healthy. Rodrigo obviously losing this round, losing 5 men immediately off the bat, and then going in for the full rebuy with him picking up the AWP. If they lose this round, their money is going to be absolutely busted, and it's looking like this round might be going that way, as we actually see a team kill coming out onto a Mick, but well, that's already 2 picks on the board there.
Boaster getting a little bit carried away there. But I don't think that matters all too much, because he answered with 2 kills, so it's essentially just like a trade. And all in all, it's going to be worth it. His HS just strolls in and beheads Peggy. Imi, we've seen him do crazy things with an AWP already in this series. Terrible while he comes out. I'm not sure if that was actually meant to bounce. It could have been, but HS comfortably finishing that one off, and Imi can't find his shots that he just had to be landing right there. And Alter Your Ego, after the most dominant, what I thought was going to be the most dominant T side on Cash that I'd seen in a long time.
Yeah.
They might well be about to lose this game. United Estonia are 1 round away from clinching their first game in the Premiership after, honestly, a terrible first half to the Premiership. They have come back kicking Alter Your Ego all over the shop.
See, this is the thing that terrified me as well, as I was sort of saying, with the amount of money they invested in losing 5 men in both rounds, they have nothing left into this final one, and they are just being punished because of this. They have to play in these ridiculously close angles. Somehow Imi was allowed to go all the way behind and actually push through mid. I don't even
know how that happened. I have no idea.
But he has been nipped in the bud, and Max is going to fall as well, even just Peggy. But Peggy's no longer alive, and to be honest with you, in my mind, the only way I saw Hugo actually being able to win this out is if they did pick up 2 rounds right there in that first half. That's gone out the window. And I don't feel like they've actually got it in them off, obviously, the back of 2 very horrendous halves, obviously being the first overtime and then their CT half, to have that level of confidence on their T half now. I feel like things are going to be a little bit shaky, and the team might have been, you know, I feel like the heads could have dropped at this point, and UE most likely should be able to shut this down in first OT.
Honestly, if Alter Your Ego can come back and put this into a second overtime, I am going to be unbelievably impressed, because how on earth you don't go from 2 to 13 and then suddenly 18, like they have got 2 rounds in the time that United Estonia have finished a game.
Yeah.
16 rounds. essentially won a map in that time. And it's kind of, if you're not tilted off the face of the earth after 16 rounds to 2, I don't even know. Like you've got nerves of steel. You're much stronger men than I am.
It's very interesting though. The frags over on Oyuga are actually very well distributed. Essentially everyone on the same amount of frags there.
I love how Joe tweeted me saying he wanted a shout out after his stats in Season 1, and I keep on calling it Season 1, last season. Well, this game not really stepping up, but it doesn't seem to matter because the rest of his team is more than capable. But it is going to be a good start here for Alter Ego. They've got that first frag of this half, and they absolutely needed to.
Interesting as well that we actually see Fets has opted to go for a M249. So, I mean, I guess feeling the confidence behind them right now. Joe will come into the opener though. He is going to be able to shut down Imi. That'll bring it back onto a 4-on-4. This does slightly favour the T still in terms of their positioning. The A-bomb site will be under attack. Karamazov goes out. They're going to try and force everyone out of position, but Joe is doing damage. There he goes, finally popping off. You said he wasn't doing enough. He comes into the fold. Back up of Mick as well. Boaster for